Kelly, I was starting to get boring and tear my hair out every single week whinging about the same stuff. The lack of stadium sort of vision, the lack of training ground. Manchester United 12 years ago had the best team in the country, the best stadium in the country, and they had the best training ground in the country. It's unforgivable what's happened, and for 10 years there was negligence and nothing happening. What at least now we have is there's a stadium project that's on the horizon, there's 50 million being put into the training ground, and there's 6 new people being put in at the top of the club, which means there's disruption and there's interference with what was happening, which was just, I mean, it was reckless, and it will go down in for 10 years. That 1.4 billion that was wasted on players, and was, to be fair, every single season. We knew it. We knew when they signed Casemiro and Anthony, we knew when they signed all those players on a constant basis in panic mode that they were not going to do well. Now, over the last 10 years, have Manchester United had really bad coaches? You know, Jose Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Ralph Rangnick, Erik ten Hag. They've all struggled like mad. So you've got to get to a point whereby you say you've got to make structural changes. I think there's about 200 or 300 people going to leave the club, which obviously means there's a lot of, at this moment in time, there's an unsettled feeling in the club. They need good first-team performance this season, just give some air cover so they can make the changes behind the scenes, but at least change is happening. That is the big thing. And I was whinging, moaning, screaming at this telly and into this microphone for years, just asking for some type of interference and change. It's here now, so now you've got to let this develop. It still might not work, but at least something's happening.
When you talk about the interference, Gary, obviously you talk about the recruitment. So do you think actually this summer it's being taken out of Erik ten Hag's hands, if you like, and it's being more a club approach in terms of whether Erik ten Hag's our manager next season, we're buying a certain player to do a certain job?
I mean, the one person out of those that are on that screen I know is Dan Ashworth, because I worked with him at the FA. The types of signings that Manchester United have made in the last 10 years won't happen at this club again if he's obviously got the power and authority. What I would say is this summer they've signed a couple of players that Erik ten Hag knows, so they're still supporting the manager, it would seem, in players that he's obviously had a past history with. Am I surprised at that? A little bit, but on the other hand, they're the right profile, they're the right age, they're the right price. You know, they've signed a centre-forward there, Xerxes, 30-odd million quid. That would have been 70 million maybe a year ago or 2 years ago. So the prices seem to be better. The smoothness of the transactions seem to be better. It doesn't seem to be the same nonsense. And like they chased Sancho for 2 years. They chased De Jong for I don't know how long. They were chasing Bale, Fabregas in that first summer of Ed Woodward 10, 12 years ago. And it was nominating who they were going to, like, it's not Football Manager. Manchester United have got to be a serious football club and do things in a serious way, and it looks like at least now those things are happening. Now, does that mean it'll bring success? No, but there's something started to happen which resembles what a football club should look like.